Now, out of all the creatures I want to see in ASA, which will come to ASA in future maps, such as the likes of Genesis Part 1, Genesis Part 2, the Maewing has to be in my number 10 spot. And I would put this much higher until, obviously, Astraeus released, and now we have the Maguana, which is essentially the Maewing, except it's got 2 less slots for holding babies in its saddle, and its milk range is a little bit worse, but the saddles are unlocked at the same method, at the same level even, and their taming methods are exactly the same as far as I'm concerned, taming them. It is a little bit easier to tame the Maewing because of the collision physics in Survival Evolved compared to Survival Ascended, but still there really isn't too much in it, and I've actually made a video recently, I'll link it if I remember to link it, about how to tame the Maguana. Same applies for taming the Maewing, but they're both incredible, amazing creatures and just insane fast ways to travel around the map with all of their abilities, like this gliding you're seeing here, and of course the stuttering as the game struggles to catch up with everything. But they don't just glide, they're not great attackers, they can glide on the water as well. Look, I'll show it here. You can see this insane water gliding. You can press C on the keyboard, then they go underwater. They're pretty good swimmers as well. Then obviously they can jump up and start gliding again. They can gather berries with a belly flop too, and when, you know, they go down on the ground like this, you hold control on the keyboard, then you can just get some insane going through terrain and you know, just objects that are resources. You can just glide straight through, and then obviously you can gather berries through that, and you can obviously gather berries as well through just nomming on them too with your mouth. If I just do this, look, you can see we're getting all these berries here, and they're pretty decent berry gatherers, so it definitely is one that I'm looking forward to seeing in Survival Ascended. But since the Maguana is in the game, the Maewing isn't as high as it perhaps would have been otherwise. Next up, we've got one of my personal favorites in the number 9 spot, and it is the Blood Crystal Wyvern, or really any Crystal Wyvern to be honest, but this honestly is a fantastic Ark Dino in my opinion, and in my opinion it's just the coolest of all the Wyverns. If you get a good one like this, you get that ability, and then you've obviously got the blood ability as well. It just is a great Wyvern. You got that blood sucking ability, and although Wyverns are in the game through maps like Scorched Earth, and I'm pretty sure Ragnarok's on ASA now. If I've got that wrong, then you can comment that below. But Scorched Earth is, so you've got Fire Wyverns, Poison Wyverns, Lightning Wyverns, and the like. But obviously Crystal Isles isn't here yet, so we don't get amazing things such as the Crystal Wyverns. And there's not really all too much to say about these things, which is why I haven't put them so high. The only reason, again, why the Maewing was in the number 10 is because of the Maguana. We've basically got the exact creature, and we've sort of got that exact creature in ASA with the other Wyverns. This is just a better variant of the Wyvern in my opinion, and I still prefer the Maewing to the Maguana, hence why it's on this list. But honestly, Blood Crystal Wyvern, just such a cool creature. Just look at this model, look at this detail, and just look at how cool it looks. Like, Fire Wyverns and things just aren't really comparable when it comes to Blood Crystal Wyvern. For me, it's a creature that I like, and I like its abilities compared to some of the other Wyverns, and that's why I put it here. The Lightning Wyvern's the best Wyvern in the game currently for ASA, even though it doesn't really look great. I've always thought that. Does anyone else think that? The Lightning Wyvern is obviously the best Wyvern out of the original 3, but it really doesn't look good compared to some of the other Wyverns that you get on those. Like the Poison Wyvern looks great, but it just isn't really that useful in the grand scheme of things. But the Blood Crystal Wyvern looks absolutely amazing, and also just is amazing too, which is why I have to put it on this list. So next up, in at number 8 spot, we've got a creature which I don't really talk about that much, and it is the Tek Stryder. Honestly, to be honest, one that isn't really talked about from Genesis Part 2 a lot, I think, these days. And perhaps this isn't the best variant that we've got here. We've got the shield generator rig, so they can project a force field bubble, and then we've got the cannon so we can suppress enemies. Isn't really the best harvesting one per se, but still I like that there are all these different variants of Stryders that you can come across. Just like, look at how cool it is as a creature as well. There's not too much to say on the matter of the Stryder. It's just, isn't this just a great traveling creature? We all loved the look of them when the Gen 2 trailer came out for the first time, and to see these in ASA, which they will, because obviously Gen 2 is going to happen will be absolutely fantastic. Just like, it's just such a cool creature, and you can, with S Plus, you can build extra platforms on this as well and get all of that. You can stand on its head right here. Look, there's me looking at the head of this Stryder. Just a fantastic creature, which I want to see in Survival Ascended because of the variations and just how good it is of a harvesting mount, because otherwise, why would you put it here? Perhaps an unusual one to see on the beaches of Lost Island. But next up, we've got the Magmasaur from Genesis Part 1. We're going to get Genesis Part 1 reasonably soon on Survival Ascended. But isn't the Magmasaur just a really cool creature? Just a hulking bit of magma coming from the larger lava region of Gen 1. And, you know, although perhaps Gen 1 isn't the most favoured map among Ark players, we definitely got some good creatures, and we will be seeing some more Gen 1 Ark creatures on the rest of this list. And there is a bit of a theme there with the Genesis expansions and creatures on this list, because they really did bring some great creatures. Well, perhaps maybe OP maps, some may say. They brought some of the best creatures from Survival Evolved, so of course I had to put creatures like this on the list. Just generally a great hauling dino for things. It's pretty fast, and with its smelting capabilities, it just is a great creature, isn't it? And it's a pretty good tank for PvPers as well, although maybe not the first choice, still a choice. This is honestly one of the coolest model designs though in Survival Evolved, so I really did just have to put it here just because of those insane capabilities that are offered from a creature like this. Coming up next, we've got an extremely rare Ark Dino, but I thought it'd be best to put this creature on here as it is an absolutely amazing creature from Fjorda. Incredibly hard to get, obviously, the Fenrir, but it does an incredible amount of damage and is a creature which is generally just really cool. And I would love to see it in ASA. Obviously, it's going to come to ASA with the maps. There's all the creatures on this list, but I just can't wait for this thing to be in ASA. And then, you know, when I can get my own Fenrir, just, they sort of look a little bit ugly in a way, but they're just like direwolves on crack with some thylanus about them as well. I absolutely just love the Fenrir. Honestly, amazing creature. Just fabulous at what it does. Great combat mount and incredibly hard to get. Two things which I actually really like about this creature, because I like how hard it is to get. It really feels like there's a reward involved, and that reward would be greatly received by me if that reward was also in Survival Ascended. It seems only fitting now in a number 5 spot to talk about the Shadowmane, the absolute GOAT of Gen 2, and to think that this thing isn't in ASA yet just sort of kills my soul a little bit. They just have such incredible abilities, like this insanely high jump. It's just amazing. And the fact why I say, oh, I can't believe that the Shadowmane isn't an ASA, is I haven't been doing a lot of ASA, really. I'm mainly still an ASE player, and I use this thing all the time, and to think that ASA doesn't have it sort of just makes me a bit sad. So I had to put it on this list, and all the creatures, 5/1s are ones which I just really want to see, and sort of I'm waiting until those are in the game, and then I'll start playing ASA a bit more, just because I need those creatures. The Magmasaur certainly satisfied a lot of those needs though, because the Maewing would have been incredibly high up, maybe number 2, number 1, before the Magmasaur's release. But obviously, since that's happened, there's still a little bit of, yeah, I want the Maewing, but like, creatures like the Shadowmane I want way more now, because we've got the Magmasaur, and that's sort of the alternative for ASA. But the Maewing's also going to be an ASA too, so you know, you're going to have both to choose from, which I guess is nice. You've got choice, you can choose which one is preferable to. But the Shadowmane, just an absolutely amazing creature. This is also a great color for the Shadowmane as well. Comment down below what your favorite Shadowmane color is, because this is definitely speaking to me. Now, this next creature is on my back, and it is obviously the Sinomacrops. Just a great one from Lost Island, I think. I hope that I haven't got any of that information wrong, but it is truly just a great creature for getting around. Like, look at this height that I'm building up, and then, you know, you can go into some gliding as well. It's like what the Archaeopteryx wanted to be and couldn't be. The Sinomacrops is just a goated travel mount, and honestly I do wish that I used it more, because I don't really use it enough, which is why I'm not particularly great at using said Sinomacrops. But still, there's things to be had. Look, here you can see we're in the gliding ability if you press C on the keyboard. I'd really need a little bit more height for this to work ideally, but it just is an absolutely excellent travel mount. Let's go into the glide mode here, And although it doesn't match the speed of the Maewing Maiguana, it's got that versatility for me. And while it does have other uses as well, I can't really remember what they are, and it does show that I haven't really used the Sinomacrops that much. And, you know, me using it has mainly been for traveling uses, and I've only really got into using it more. I should explore it in more detail, 2 minutes is what I'm saying, but I'm really enjoying it, and I know a lot of you guys really enjoy it too. And it's just such a cool creature, isn't it? And to see this in ASA would be absolutely amazing. It's a staple of ASA these days, so in ASA this creature would be right at home as well. Now, I don't think I could do this list without putting the Desmodus here, one of the absolute goats of Beorder. A blood pack farm and sanguine elixir to die from coming from these creatures. The fact that they have the glide ability like the Griffin and the Snow Owl. They're really fast, efficient travel mounts. Their model is so cool. The tame method is the exact same as the Bloodstalker, but still just an absolutely fantastic mount with so many versatile features. That sanguine elixir being one of my favorites, 30% of the tame, or a third of the tame really, just done like that with the click of a button. And it's a blood bag farm as well, which is great for taming Bloodstalkers if you're someone who really likes Bloodstalkers like me, and also taming more Desmoduses afterwards, something which was definitely missing from the Bloodstalker. Again, those blood bags was a pain, but now with the Desmodus we've got an insane creature to do all of that, and it just truly is fantastic. Great damage dealer, although not the best, it still definitely can do some combat. Great for some PvP stuff as well. You can pick players off mounts. That sanguine elixir is unbeaten though, and the fact that it can gather blood bags, and it generally is just a really great traveling mount. Now, I've just talked about this incredible beast, but the Bloodstalker is what I've got in at the number 2 spot, because it is just so versatile. Look at it gliding over the water here, and you also essentially get the awesome spyglass for free within the game, and you can see all the aggros of the creatures. Just frankly an amazing ability, which you really can't get from many other creatures. And then, you know, press C, no, X, sorry, C on some other creatures, and we can go underwater, and you can just see how fast this creature goes. It's insane how fast it goes underwater. It is by far my favorite underwater mount. And then when you're done with the water, just press X again on your keyboard. I'm not sure what it is on console. This isn't the best map to test it out on, but then, you know, you can zip up and zip around, and the game really doesn't like it because it's lagging. And I didn't really intend to go over there, but if I was going over here, it would be an insane speed. But no matter what map you're on, I can actually say that. I'd probably cut out the other version unless I didn't. The Bloodstalker is just insane underwater, and its tame method is cool, like the Desmodus. You can see my Sinomacrops there in green on the back of this thing. Just a fantastic swimmer, pretty good for combat as well. Cool taming method, cool features, just great general mount for traveling and transportation, which is why I had to put it here on the list. Now, don't ask why we're in the desert, but the Deinonychus had to be what I put in number 1. It is probably by far like my favorite Ark creature ever. It's so versatile, speedy, it doesn't take any full damage. It does insane damage. Just look at that. I know we're an absolute insane level and everything's a really low level at the moment, and that's why we're absolutely demolishing everything. I've got a difference in sort of difficulty between this and Lost Island. I've got a World of Valguero where everything goes up to level 1500 natural, so it is absolutely demolishing everything here. But still, in the real world, it absolutely demolishes things too. It can grapple onto creatures like you saw there and do that. It doesn't take any full damage. It's the Raptor on crack. It is absolutely insane mental creature. It travels with the speed that I need. The only thing it really isn't good at is swimming, but it does the thing which the Bloodstalker lacks, which is great combat abilities, and it's great for bosses as well. So it's really just an all-rounder, and with the pack buff, once you've got multiple of them, it's amazing to get one of these creatures on your side, and they're pretty good for caving as well. Maybe not my choice over the Baryonyx, but increasingly these days I do choose this thing over the Baryonyx, just because I'm always around on one. Like, their weight's good, their stamina's good, their health is good, their damage is good. I'm usually only out on one. I don't usually take a pack with me. I've got a pretty high level one, about the same as this, but it's a little bit higher level than this. I think mine's in the more 2400 range. But still, absolutely fantastic creatures, and if you get a good, nice high level one, perhaps not this high level, you're going to really enjoy the benefits from this, and especially when you get packed with the lovely Deinonychus, with the lovely Sinomacrops. That is all I've got for you today as we run through the deserts of the Lost Island map. Hope you enjoyed this top 10. If you didn't agree with this list, then comment down below your 10, as I always want to know your opinions. You'll be happy to know, you people commenting about the blur, that there is no blur on this video. There'll be some blur on some other videos because the B-roll is pre-recorded, but I am looking to do a lot more B-roll recording for some new B-roll to refresh it through, as I am going to try and wipe out all of the blur stuff. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it all goes well. But for you people that haven't seen this before, then that means nothing to you. If you go back and look at some of the old videos, then you'll see what they're talking about. And yeah, I get it's not great. That's all I've got for today's video. If you want to join the Patreon, join the Patreon. I sometimes post some exclusive content on there, but if you just want to show your support, then that's great. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. And give it up for our patrons, Ekaterina Puchkova and Karina Thorne, Dominic Maciejewski, sorry about that name, and everyone else that's on this list. All the people I've mentioned are paid members, and if you feel like that's something you want a shout out at the end of the video, go join the Patreon or become a paid YouTube member.